Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome to the start of a brand new series here in MLB The Show 24. So obviously it just came out on Game Pass. So I am going to be doing a Draft to Glory franchise mode with the Tokyo Tropic Turtles, which is a weird ass team name I came up with the other day, and I decided to just run with it. So what's going to be really interesting about this series is I did put up on the community tab a poll on what you guys think we should do, if we should only draft people from Asian countries or if we should just draft anybody we want. And for some reason, despite having 60 votes, it ended in a 50-50 draw. So what I think we're going to do is we are going to draft from Asian countries only, but we're also going to be able to take, like, say, Americans that have Asian names that come from, like, California. So it should be interesting in terms of that. But one thing I wanted to let you guys know before we actually show you guys what we're going to be working with is this roster. And basically, one of you guys on my community tab actually said that Ant Ortiz, he basically had a series anyways where he, or an episode or something like that, where he took a 0-and overall team and turned it into a World Series winner, I think. And that's basically kind of the same mode we're kind of going for in a sense, because I lowered everybody on our team down to a 1 overall with an F potential. All these guys also have very zero durability, so they might get injured, but I do have the AI adjusting the injuries and stuff like that. But you can literally see we lowered every single person on this team, so we're basically starting from lower than we did last year when I did my Draft to Glory series with my Vancouver Rain. So this should be a very interesting series to see us basically build up a team from the ground all the way to being hopefully a World Series winner one day. But it is going to be pretty tricky, I think, narrowing it down just to Asian countries and players that have Asian names from different countries. But I think it should be a fun series regardless. I'm just hoping, obviously, that the drafts produce enough Asian quality talent, because obviously if they don't, that's where we're going to get problematic unless we're able to find some crazy good steals. But we should be a pretty bad team early on for a long part of the series, and hopefully we end up winning like the draft lotteries and stuff like that to give us a better chance at getting exactly who we want. But an example of like an Asian, though, for example, that is from America, like I think Jared Ono is technically, he's from California, so technically if we see somebody like this from California, I think that we should be able to draft them. You guys can let me know if you think that's too easy in a sense, but if we see somebody like that, we could potentially draft them. However, I would prefer to get guys from like Japan, from Taiwan. I'm trying to remember what other countries have players in this game, like I think Vietnam and stuff like that, all in that area, China as well. That's basically what we're going to be trying to draft for the most part. But if we do see some from California, I definitely could take those type of guys as well. So should be interesting to see what we end up building up like. As you can see, our jerseys are pretty sick too. I came up with like a nice like purple and green color scheme. The reason why there's purple is because apparently the flag of the Tokyo Metropolis is actually purple, so decided to go with that, and the green obviously for the turtles. And you can see that logo that I have, let me actually remove my face for a second, is basically a T, and then you have some palm trees and you have a turtle in front of it, so it's nothing too special, but that's basically what I came up with. So yeah, it's going to be very exciting to see what ends up happening in terms of building this team up. Now this episode's probably going to be a pretty short episode because we're not going to simulate up to the draft yet in this episode, but we are going to simulate up until we are able to see all the prospects. So we are going to be able to get our preliminary look at every prospect there is in the league, and hopefully we could find ourselves some good draft prospects, and because we're only building up via the draft and also the Rule 5 draft, so we cannot obviously make any trades or free agent signings. So let's go ahead first and get our staff dealt with, because we do need to make sure we have the best scouting pool possible. So let's make sure we have the right scouts in, and that they're all kind of in international if possible. So this Heller guy, efficiency is good. Pitchers is pretty solid. This guy's not that bad, to be honest. His positional players is a little bit low. This guy isn't very efficient. I do want more efficient scouts, I think, than anything else. But we need to be sure we have enough money for all of them, too. Let's technically actually just clear all of our scouts. Actually, no, I have to actually replace them. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's been a while since I played MLB, like a few months. So was really happy when 24 came out on Game Pass last night. Like, I stayed up till like 2 a.m. trying to design these jerseys and all that stuff, so a little bit tired, but So this really good scout is going to be costing 111,000. So hypothetically, if I fire my 280 scouts, and then I could find another, I can't find another one for that much cheaper probably, right? That's good. Like, how good is the cheap scouts? Probably not very good, but let's double check on these guys. See if there's anybody that actually might be underrated here. Because obviously we want to have, like I said, very good scouts. This has very good discovery, which is kind of nice, but I kind of want to have ones just with very good efficiency and decent and everything. Our current ones aren't really that bad, but the efficiency on Grafe and Clement are a little bit weak. So if we could actually, did I accidentally fire one of mine? I think I accidentally replaced one of mine already. Yeah, I think I replaced one of mine already. Let's get rid of Graf and replace with Krisa. That does have still enough budget, which is good. So we have two really good ones. This one, good positional players and pitchers, not really efficient. Is there a more efficient one that has that? That's also kind of asking for right around the same price, because that would be pretty good. Or actually 80, we could go up to 106,700. We could actually go up to pretty expensive here. We could actually get the best scout possible to replace this when we have enough budget to do so. So we might as well do that. So we'll take out Clement and get in Eldridge, and that's going to be our scouting pool of staff for now. Both of them are really good at positional players. Then you have one that's really good at pitching actually, and they're all pretty efficient. So those are going to be our staff members for the season. Let's advance a few days, and then we should be able to start scouting out players here shortly. I also already got spring training basically done with. I said it to start at the regular season just because it makes more sense that way. But we should be able to, we might have to actually go through our first 3 games in history in order to start scouting, I think. I don't know how bad this team's going to assimilate. I also feel like a lot of players on our team might retire after the first season because they don't have the ability to, or they also might have a very low durability. So this might be a little bit problematic in terms of how we assimilate in these first few games, but it is what it is. Let's go to the 30th, and I think we could start looking at this draft pool and kind of seeing what we could potentially draft in this series. So let's get through these first 3 games. So our first 3 games in franchise history, we actually managed to score 2 runs, which is kind of surprising, but you can see we're going to get blown out like this every single game. I am really surprised that we managed to score a run with a team that doesn't even have like a player better than a 1 overall. That is kind of surprising. Can we scout now? No, we cannot. We should be able to soon though, I think. I don't remember how long it takes before that opens up. 32-0 loss there. God damn. Yeah, this team is very bad. Like way worse than the original Vancouver Reign team I had, because the original Vancouver Reign team I had, I didn't lower everybody down to 1 overall. So we should be able to start scouting here soon, I would assume. Let me check if I can now. No, I can't. It's probably at the end of this week, my guess. I guess a lot of guys are already getting injured, but we're just going to auto-fix lineups for now, because it does not matter at this stage. There we go. Now we can actually start scouting. And we've only scored 3 runs in our first 9 games of the season, so this is going to be a really rough year for this team. But it will be interesting to see what happens. I think what we're also going to do is probably every single player we draft automatically almost gets onto our roster unless we want to kind of make them take a little bit longer. It would be interesting to get like guys that are 40 overall and might not make it into the lineup right away, because obviously they're a lot better than the 1 overalls we currently have. So should be interesting to see if we do that or not. Let's go to the scouting thing and see what is available in this draft class, and let's hope that we get some decent generated talent that could help us out. Also, I did replace the Oakland A's again, just in case you guys were wondering who I took out of the league. Once again, it was the Oakland A's. Okay, so let's just get through this because I already know how this works. Yes, I know. Thank you. Okay, so I think we're going to just scout individual prospects. I don't know if we should kind of do a different method. Like, do you guys think we should scout each prospect individually? Do you think we should scout positions? Do you think we should just discover new prospects? Because that's definitely something we should look at, is what we exactly want to do in terms of all these methods. But I am going to go to just scout prospect for now, just so I can see what is available for us to potentially draft, because we're limiting ourselves quite a bit here. And we do have the 4th overall pick this year. So let's start off with the starting pitchers. Is this guy from an Asian country? He's from Indiana, but would you guys consider him an Asian? Based on the last name, Iwamura. I feel like I would consider him an Asian. Almost. But I want your guys' opinion on what should be considered Asian and what isn't. So Iwamura might be definitely a really good way to start off with if he's actually that good. But obviously he would be a good one to scout out just to see if he's that good. What else we got here? This might be a very tough thing for us to find. We might not have a lot of, international guys scouted here out of the gate, so we're going to have to definitely find more. Here's one, maybe. Yep, here's one from Japan already. David Na. That's great to see already a Japanese player here early on. That's definitely a guy I would scout out, and who could be a potential player for the Tokyo Tropic Turtles. Imagine having the last name Nato. That seems like a weird one. And then there's Koji Sato, too, who's from Pennsylvania, but I think that also is a Japanese name, if I'm not mistaken. So, hey, well, maybe we will take Americans that also have Japanese kind of names, if you guys think it is fair enough. Or we could just limit ourselves to Asian countries, but that's going to be much, much tougher, I think. Because I know Tugi did that last year, and it was very tough for him to put together a good roster, I think. Let's see, do we have anybody else? Oh man, I'm going to have really problems pronouncing these names. Yuhiro Hayashi, I think his name is. Yeah, he's also Japanese. So we are getting a decent amount of generated Japanese guys. This guy's not supposed to get drafted apparently, but obviously we'll scout him out. So we are getting some generated Japanese talent, which is very nice to see. Where's this guy from? Panama. That doesn't count because Panama is in South America. We're just going to look through every single player here early on just to kind of give us a good little in-depth look. Robert Yoshida, would he count as a Japanese player because he's from Mississippi? Walter Jung, he's from Chinese Taipei, so he would count. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I think we might be able to do this, actually, now that I'm thinking of it, because it is a good start here in terms of Asian-named players. So, try and see if we could find anyone, though, that might be crazy good. Obviously, we won't know until we actually start scouting them out in the next episode, but also you guys can let me know exactly who we should be scouting here in the early going, or should we just do a generic scout for the first few weeks, and then afterwards kind of narrow it down, like kind of just get basically our preliminary scouts done with everybody that is in the international area, and then kind of narrow it down after that fact, because I think that might be a good play too. Okay, so we're back at the start again. Let's go to relief pitchers now. This might take a while, but at least this is the first episode. And yeah, I'm very excited to get actually underway with this. Like, we probably won't do the draft next episode. We'll probably do a bunch of scouting next episode, and then the episode afterwards would be the draft. I think that's what we'll end up doing. Let's see here. We have Tom Koo. Yep, he's also Chinese Taipei, so he could also count. Also, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I I apologize. Let's see what else we got here. Looking through all these names, so many players, so many beards. Not as much on the relief pitcher pool, looks like, as starting pitcher, but that's okay. Also, since this is MLB The Show 24, who knows, maybe we'll find a nice good two-way pitcher or something like that that could also bat. That would be awesome. Not really seeing anybody else, I don't think. There's a lot of relievers in this draft, though, it looks like, at least at this point. Herb King, what a name. Definitely not an Asian guy, though. What else we got here? Trying to just look at these names as fast as possible. Yeah, I'm not seeing... Whoa! Oh, I thought that's a turtle. I was gonna like, damn, if that guy was Asian, we should draft him, but it's his Turley. That would have been funny having a guy with the last name Turtle. Yeah, I'm not really seeing any here, almost in the relief pitcher pool, so maybe it's only starting pitcher that we're going to see some generated ones. Leonardo Sato, he might count. He's from Oregon. I think Sato is the last name from an Asian country, like Japan or something, but there is our relief pitchers that are available in this draft. At least we could scout out some more, too, that aren't even scouted at all yet. Closing pitcher-wise, do we got anybody here? Also, I hope that most of these guys actually have good overalls, because if they don't have good overalls or potentials, that's going to hurt us as well. Come on, there's got to be one here somewhere. Oh wait, actually we already went through, I think, all the closing pitchers. Doesn't look like any closing pitcher so far. What about catcher wise? Now we're actually into the infield, so this is where it's going to be interesting. Peter Yamazaki. He's from Japan as well. Let's go. Okay, we actually might be able to find a good amount of Japanese players in this first year draft if we're able to actually get them drafted too, because who knows, maybe the AI will take them. He's not supposed to go to 113th, but who knows, he could be good. We'll see what else we got here. Let's see if there's any other ones so far. No, it does not look like it. We'll head to first base now. Look and see if we could find any ones here. Maybe David Seo. Yep, Chinese Tapai. I almost want to pronounce that SEO though, like search engine optimization. That's kind of funny. Russell Yang also as well. Okay, so there's a couple of first basemen. That's nice. It's good that there's a decent amount here early on, because I wasn't sure if there was going to be a lot or not. But the question is, are we going to be able to get a good chunk of these guys? I don't know. Really depends on the AI, because who knows, some of them might reach for players. Second baseman wise, there does not seem to be any so far. Maybe Reed Taguchi. He's from California, but I would assume that's kind of an Asian last name as well, so maybe Taguchi would be one. And that's it for second base. We head to third base now. Let's see. There's got to be at least a couple on each position. That would be nice. That gives us at least a little bit of a chance to draft a good chunk of them. Not seen anybody so far. Wow, we already went through all the third basemen that was there? Okay. Yeah, we might want to do a good generic scout with one of our staff members, or scouts, I should say, and kind of just find what else is out there, because there's probably players that we aren't even scouted yet. Let's see. Steven On. Yep, he would count as well. So there's another one. Anybody else? That's it for shortstops. What else we got here for the outfield now? Any interesting names? No. Okay, center fielding wise, there's got to be an outfielder at least, right? Yeah, see, this is going to be probably a tough series based on its like limited options that we could draft, and we might not get them all. Okay, let's hit the right field. John Kato. He's from Japan as well. He would count. That's good. That's good. I looked at him. What else we got here? Brian Shin. Yep, he would count as well. Okay, yeah, we definitely have options. Obviously, I would prefer to get Japanese only, but also it would be better to get guys from just all Asian countries. This guy, again, has the last name SEO. He's from Indiana. Would he count? I would say so. But we definitely have options, at least for our first draft. And there's probably more, too, once we go international. So there is that. We're not going to add anybody here yet. But I still need your guys' opinions, at least, on what we should do in terms of, like, scouting positionally. Should we scout just generic prospects in general, or just do like a complete wide open search basically to discover new prospects and basically see if there's any more out there that could help us out, because obviously we need basically everything on this roster. So there is that. Let's just go advanced for a second, and that is good. So anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this first episode of our Tokyo Tropic Turtles Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll start our scouting process. We'll simulate up to it probably a couple days before the draft. And then hopefully in the third episode, we could have our good first draft and start building this team up from the ground. And hopefully it will be one day a World Series winner. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.